Good afternoon, Your Honor. My name is Gary Cochran. I'm a certified fire investigator, and I investigated a fire at 614 May Street. I identified and confirmed the address where the fire occurred. There were exterior indicators that a fire had occurred at this address, such as smoke staining in different areas of the house, around the windows and on the eaves of the house. The homeowner was not home at the scene when I arrived. So I proceeded to start my investigation by photographing the exterior and into the interior and documenting in a systematic way. Even though I did not have consent from the homeowner to enter the residence or warrant to enter the residence, I decided to enter the residence under the exigent circumstances to conduct a fire investigation. At that time, I decided the investigation was needed to be conducted for preservation of evidence and documentation. After conducting the investigation utilizing a scientific methodology and systematic approach recommended by NFPA 921, Guide for Fire and Explosion Investigations, I then determined the origin of the fire, which was in the living room on the west wall behind an old broken TV. While conducting the fire investigation and identifying multiple pieces of evidence within the area of origin, I photographed, documented, and collected all the evidence. I also collected 2 pieces of carpet samples from the area of origin where I observed an unusual burn pattern that was unexplainable that led from the television into the kitchen area. The 2 carpet samples were sent to ABC Forensic Labs for analysis to determine if there were any ignitable liquids within the samples collected from the area. During the investigation, I observed pieces of older furniture which had been placed throughout the residence, and some personal items appeared to be missing as well. These types of observations in a home that is burned are not the typical norm usually. When these findings were observed and there was no homeowner available for me to interview, the thought was that the fire may have been intentionally set. All indicators led me to believe that the fire may have been an incendiary fire or an arson fire. The homeowner would be arrested for the charge of arson if the lab samples came back positive for ignitable liquids. While I was still at the scene, the homeowner did arrive with their attorney, and we did discuss the fire and that I had conducted a fire investigation and collected some samples. Their attorney questioned my illegal entry and collection of evidence from the residence. I explained to him that the entry for the investigation and collection of evidence was conducted under exigent circumstances since there was no one at the residence to give me consent. Your Honor, I have a sketch of the residence at 614 May Street. This is facing north. This is the living room area. As you see, the red circle area is the area of origin. And then I have a squiggly line here for was the unexplained burn pattern. It has 2 boxes with X's in it. That's the 2 carpet samples I collected. Down here I have 2 red circles with X's in them. That's evidence I collected from the area as well. The samples have been sent off to the lab for forensic analysis, and we're waiting for the results for them to come back so we can proceed with our case.